Welcome to Not Another Northern Podcast. My name's Niall, and today I've got three other people with me to chat shit and talk about things that really piss us off. So, do you want to introduce yourself, boys?
Yeah, I'm Jamie. Like Niall said, we're here to talk about what pisses us off. Who's next?
Yeah, I'm Gary, and yeah, pretty much talk about what really gets us, gets us annoyed and gets us swearing to back of his teeth.
Hello, I'm Ricky. I'm not Northern, I'm Southern, so hopefully some of you will be able to understand this group chat. I'm going to talk about things what piss me off. There's only one thing. I have a list, but I can only fit one thing in. So I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, that couldn't...
Well, let's start there then. Southerners, they pissed me off.
Here we go.
That intro could not have sounded any more like you three were introducing your dating profiles on Take Me Out or something. Never have I heard so many. Well, never have I heard three people sound so awkward about introducing themselves, which is completely not what I'm going to talk about. What pisses me off? What does piss me off is I drive on the motorway every single day to work. Now, I like to get there a lot quicker than other people, and whether or not that's legal or not is a different question. But what pisses me off is people sitting in the outside lane going at 60 miles an hour. Why would you go slow if you're in outside lane? It's idiotic.
I do agree with that. Like, why do they go in the zoom lane if they're not going to zoom?
I can guarantee you.
Which motorway are you talking about?
I drive on
M40?
M18.
Oh, right, okay.
That's
a nightmare anyway, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's horrible. But every single day, driving down there, think, oh, yeah, you know what? Getting outside lane, I'll get to work 5 minutes early. No, I get there bang on time. I'm meant to be there for 7:10. I'm always there for 7:10. I'd like to be early. I'd like to make myself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and think, you know what, this is a nice start to the day. No, people in fucking outside lane. Joke.
And what do you always find? Like, it's the type of car that that's doing that.
9 times out of 10, silver Ford Fiestas. Honestly, they are the worst. Ford Fiesta every time. In fact, I think there might have been a Vauxhall Corsa,
I think with that as well, you see them doing it, and you start just like you just start. You can see them what they're planning on doing, and there's no what you can do about it.
Exactly, it's horrible.
And the motorway, anyway, it's like a ticking time bomb, isn't it? It's like whenever I use the M1, if you have that one person who does that, it just has a massive knock-on effect, and it fucks up everyone's day trying to get somewhere, doesn't it? It brings the whole thing to a standstill until you can finally overtake them,
I agree with that. Like, when you say it ruins your day, absolutely. If I'm stuck on motorway and pissed off from traffic in the morning, it sets me up for my day then. I'm like completely angry for the rest of the day. It really, really winds me up.
Speaking of the knock-on effect, do you know what pisses me off just as much, if not more, is when you're stuck behind that slow car on motorway and car behind you starts flashing you as though it's your fucking fault that you're going 60 miles an hour. It's not my fault. Blame fucking Karen in Silver Fiesta. Piss takers.
There's that as well. When you think, you know what, I could probably get away with a cheeky undertake here. You go into other lane to gutter it, and then they put foot down.
Oh yeah, that I've had that before. That's fun.
It's either that, or you go for cheeky undertake, and they get into that lane, and you're like, right, well, why couldn't you have done that 4 hours ago? Idiots.
A cheeky undertake, it sounds like something you do if you're taking a girl to the cinema and you fancy giving her a cheeky undertake. That's all I could see in my head when you kept saying cheeky undertake. Well, hello.
That must be a southern thing, that, Rick.
It's been a while since I've been cheeky undertake at a cinema, I'll say.
mean,
right, do you know what pisses me off? Right, so do you know what's annoying? When women say, I'm just going to nip here. You know, when they say, we're just going to nip to the shop. We've nipped at shop today. About 7 hours we've been out at fucking house. It's ridiculous. You have to get a picnic together to go to Asda because you're there for that fucking long. It's an absolute joke.
See, I think I'm quite lucky because my missus, when she says I'm nipping to the shop, it means I'm nipping to the shop. There's no 4 hour, I'm going to see if I can try this on, do this, do that, or I'm going to walk around Asda for 6 hours. It's in, it's out, very much like me, but it works
One pump and done.
Correct. And that's why I've just had a child.
I think with that as well, I think that just must be ingrained to most women. They just nip in and then that's it. 4 hours have passed and you still sat there in car going, where is shit? Try ringing them, they don't answer. Text them, oh, just be a minute, I'll be 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Like, you just sat there and you can't do it, you can't go anywhere. You're just stuck.
I think I don't think it's no surprise if you've got a species where shopping is a hobby. You're going to have things like that happen, and you.
See, I find shopping a chore because I really hate people. That is my biggest problem. I hate people with a passion.
I agree.
And that's why I can't go out for hours and hours on end walking around like Meadowhall or round French Gate at Doncaster and all that sort of shit. Not possible. However, if someone says to me, oh, just nip past it, grab me a crate of beer, bam, in, out, done. No fussing, no messing about.
Exactly.
Easy.
You know exactly what aisles you need to go to. You know what you're grabbing. You know, you direct pass straight to till and you're out again.
It's why
Done.
910% of the time, I know that's well over what can be a percentage, but I always take a shopping list. In my head, I plan which aisle I'm going to go to before I'm even at the Asda. If someone sent me a shopping list and said, oh, just pop here on way home from work, which Midley sometimes does, I can guarantee you I've walked around that Asda in my head 45 times because I know where I'm going.
Like a military operation, isn't it?
Exactly.
You're in.
You've
even got timing sometimes, haven't you? In, out, especially Christmas. Christmas is a nightmare. Trying to just, if you just want to go in and grab what you want, it's a nightmare.
I can't wait for Christmas. Christmas is such a good time of year. It's the shopping that gets to me. I really cannot do it.
Yeah, it's my favourite time of year because the shops are shut on Christmas Day. It's fantastic.
It's one of the things, isn't it? You go to your big shopping centres, you think, right, I'll just pop here, and then you go there, they've not got what you want in stock, so you think, oh, here's the best next branded shop that does the same thing. Go there. Oh yeah, we've got that in stock, except it's 2 sizes too small for what you want to buy. Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. It's why online shopping will be the death of normal shopping. The only time shopping should be available to you is if you go to supermarket, and that's it.
You ever had that when you go to buy like a pair of shoes and like, have you got these in a 10? Oh, we've got them in a 9. I'm like, well, that's not going to fucking fit, is it? If I wanted a 9, I'd have asked for a 9.
Have you got these in a 10? No, we've got them in a 9. Did I ask for a 9? You pillocks. It's even worse, when you go into a shop like that and you're trying to get a size and stuff like that, and the store assistant or the cashier tries to tell you their life story, and you stood there with them. You're like, right, have you got this in a 10 or not? And then they go, oh yeah, we haven't. No, we've got him in a 9, but. You must excuse me, cause my nan Doris died 4 days ago, and I haven't been same since. Right, when did I ask?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh God.
I would like a seamless shopping system where you walk into a place, you tap in what you want. If they ain't got your size, you get to fuck off. You shouldn't have to ask store assistants. It's bollocks.
Yeah.
What's even better is when you get mistaken to be one of those store assistants. I've had that loads of times where people come up to you and say, have you got any of these? How the fuck do I know?
My favourite response to that is, do you know where you keep your cans of soup? No. Just And they're like, oh, can you not help me? No. And at that point, they're probably going to go, right, well, I'm leaving Asda then. Yeah, I don't work
Yeah, I would have a word with your manager. All right.
All right, I'll go find him and just fuck off out of the shop. No danger. Look, I know I'm wearing bright green, and I look like I should be working here, and I might or might not have stolen someone's name tag, but I don't work here, you know.
I think
You just remind me.
Go on, Rick.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it's just because I've got a Norwich City shirt, which is yellow and green. So, yeah, the amount of times I've worn that, played five-a-side in midweek, and then I've gone to Asda, and people have just sort of nudged you. I'll be wearing shorts and, football socks and that, and be, sweating out my arse and things like that. But because I see this yellow and green shirt, excuse me, do you wear the Pampers are and things like that? Like, no, I don't.
The
I'm
best
sorry.
thing about Ricky is, though, it would not surprise me if you actually helped that person. Oh, excuse me, do you know where the Pampers are? Well, no, but I'll find out for you.
Yeah, that is Ricky.
You see Ricky walking up and down aisles at Asda going, right, well, they're not on this aisle. I found him. Come this way. Even helps them pick out size. Oh, how old's your child? Yeah, you probably want that one then.
So I love this episode.
That sounds like Ricky.
I love this episode because there's a lot of things I love to moan about, and I probably do repent and keep them all inside. Like I'm the one. I will help someone because I just think it's good natured. But I'll end up thanking them at the end of it, and then it wind me up. I'm walking away afterwards, like, why the fuck have I just thanked them? I've just helped them, and they didn't even say thank God.
Yeah. Thank you for. It's not. Thank you for letting me show you where the Pampers are.
See, it's more of a northern thing. To like be more sarcastic about it, like you're welcome. Whereas Ricky's like, oh, thank you very much.
You know what? Ricky is possibly the nicest Southerner I've met, and I've met a few of them. Most of them are wankers.
I think he.
Whoa.
There were one.
Where do you stand on this? Do you think the Northerners complain more or the Southerners?
Who, myself?
Yourself, Ricky. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
not something.
Your missus is a Northerner, so you've got first-hand experience.
Well, not just any Northerner. She's from Leeds.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah,
of the Northerners.
I was going to say that as well.
It's not moving up north, particularly Yorkshire, coming from a city down south. It's not one thing I've noticed. It's more. I find people more naturally friendly up here. I think people are more easier to talk to. I wouldn't necessarily say ruder. I don't know. I think it's top of my head. I can't really. And when we start talking more in these episodes, there will be things I start to notice, and I do notice, But yeah, don't give it. I love Yorkshire. One of the best things I did move up here.
How do you feel about?
Apologies to any Southerners who would listen to this.
Being up here as a whole, because like you just said, you lived in a city before. Do you think it's a massive change in life, or do you think it's sort of very similar to how it was living in a city, like you just said, as opposed to living in a town, effectively? Do you think that the change as a whole is massive, or is it easily comparable?
No, I think it's a bit. I just find it a better way of life. It's an easier way of life, like just little things like driving around. Even though saying about driving around, that's I could go on and on and on the things I notice. I don't know where to start, really.
If there's a moan you can have about it, Ricky, we want to hear it.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough time in the day to go through it all, but. Yeah, I'm a bit stumped really because there's a few things I could mention, and I don't want to sort of bore people with all the different things I've noticed. I mean, in relation to what we're talking about now tonight, yeah, I say overall I do find people more friendlier up here. People will make it like little tiny things like you go on a night out and people up here just seem to love getting on it. Like Friday, Saturday night, pubs are packed. Well, when pubs are open, you could go out, you could stand at a bar, and people will talk to you. And I love that. It's great. It's that's one thing I notice. And people might listen to me and think, "No, he's talking a load of shit." It's exactly the same down south, but it's just something I've noticed. Just a sort of different way of life, really, a very relaxed way of life.
I would say we are a more friendly, hospitable folk up here. It's weird going so I've not been to many southern cities. Probably the one I've been to the most is London, and every single person.
Oh, now that's one thing I will say. You get north, south, and London. London, it's its own.
I agree. I
it's like its own country, isn't it?
It's an odd one. Is London. To be fair, I've been to like Bristol and stuff like that, and walked around there, and you smile at someone and they look at you like you're a terrorist. They look at you and think, "Why is that man happy?" Oh,
yeah, like you've just shit on their breakfast. It's ridiculous. Go on then, Ricky. What pisses you off then? So if you you said at the start you've got one thing you want to mention that pisses you off. Go on, tell us what it is. What's up there for you?
Yeah, and I will say it's been hard because I think as a nation we love a good moan, don't we? Not in a harsh way, but we love to have a moan, and it feels good, doesn't it? So it's been hard to pick one thing. The one thing what really winds me up. Let me take a breather. Here we go. One thing winds me up, and people listening, you're either going to think one way or the other. You're either going to think, yeah, do you know what? I can relate to him. It makes sense. Or you're going to be the other end of the scale and think, what a miserable bastard. What an unsociable, miserable bastard. But what really pisses me off is when you start a new job or you do a training course or something along those lines where it involves you being sat in a classroom, learning the job, interacting with new people. When they do icebreakers at the beginning and they do the whole, happy campy, right, everyone, let's go around the room and find out what John does and what this does and what that does. And, when you're all adults, it's just uncomfortable. And then you find in that room, it's not so bad if you're starting a new job and it's people you're going to see day in, day out, but particularly like with my work, they send me on one-day courses and things like that, and seeing people I'm never going to see again. So to do all this, I just think you're wasting time. We're all adults. It's uncomfortable. I don't want to talk to these people, And you'll find when you look at that room, and it's true. And when you look at the room, you'll find the same characters. You'll find that one or two person who's so over enthusiastic and touchy-feely, and you think, and it just winds me up. It's hell. If I died and went to hell, that would be my hell. Would be that every minute of the day. Please no, please no.
I've got to say, please. that unnecessary socialization for me is just ridiculous. Isn't it? Your life would be no different if you did it or not. Like, what's the actual point in it?
You know what?
Yeah, I mean.
The first time that Ricky and Gary ever properly spoke to me was when I was doing an icebreaker in a course, and I just constantly say I was Ghanaian. and that is how little I care for icebreakers. I will happily put on a complete different voice and be a different person off the back of the idea that I have to say, oh yeah, my name's Niall and egg custards are my favourite pastime and all that bollock. No, I can't
I remember how far you took Ghanaian, Niall. You went and bought a Ghanaian football t-shirt to wear when we played football.
Correct.
The accent come out quite often, and you drank lilt like it went out of fashion.
And I've bought another one since, so I'm still committed.
Have you seen, the time we were recording this, have you seen this gone viral, the Ghanaian football announcer?
No, I haven't.
Oh yes, I have. The one who's, when he announces Sheffield United, I think it's fantastic.
I better not do it because It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's funny.
Is this
It even got a mention
basically
in Sky
thing that
Sports
I
today.
don't understand?
Yeah, so he's basically a news presenter who's reading out the football scores in Ghana. He's going through the Premier League scores, and it's brilliant. He just cannot pronounce any team's name. And
Big up to Ghana, shout out.
shout out to all the Ghana listeners.
You know
It
what?
even got a mention today on Sky Sports. Jeff Sterling said, "I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we haven't got a Ghanaian commentator, so we're going to have to do it as normal." Brilliant! Yeah, so funny.
That's brilliant. Right, Gary, your turn. What's really grinding your gears?
What really gets me going and really pisses me off is just people in general. It's just when you
And now is the time.
So
the general hatred of the populace.
Yeah. Nice and narrowed down that, Gary. Cheers.
It's just right. So you know, previously before when I get up early for work, like before when I used to get public transport, I used to have to get up at 5 in the morning, get ready, right, make all my stuff, make a coffee for my travels and stuff. Half 6, sat in Rosberg bus station. You always get some woman or some bloke or something just come up. All right, morning. You waiting for the bus? No, mate. I'm waiting for fucking satellite to fall out at Sky.
You know what, Gary?
And
you,
I'm just
you missed
like,
a vital point of every single one of your mornings, and that's make a coffee for your journey, kiss your mum on the lips like Ricky does, and then leave.
Well, yeah, I can't leave house without saying bye to my mum. You know what I mean? You know.
We can't
leave your house without saying bye to your mum either.
We know what you mean.
No, I'm constantly tripping off all your shoes when I'm walking out the door. You need to start putting them away properly. But you always
Tripping over his clothes on stairs as well.
Well, yeah. Well, I always make sure. That's why they're always clean. So I always put them in washing machine in the
That
morning.
does make sense as to why Jamie and Ricky always smell particularly fresh.
Yeah.
And why Ricky's always late. Always.
Well, I'm just surprised to hear Jamie's interested in a woman he's not related to. So that's a bonus.
In that southern
you've taken. It's certainly not a southern thing, I'm afraid, my friend. It's definitely not a southern thing.
I thought all Norfolk people were like inbreds. Is that not a thing? Pretty sure it is.
Well,
you know what? I'm not going to get into this debate. I'm happy to let you free ride that one.
I tell you what we're talking about, you're on about the South in this particular episode, about what pisses people off. Now, for me, I do have a fondness and interest in farming, but as soon as anyone from the North hears about your Southern and you like anything to do with agriculture, they're straight on it, like, oh, well, I bet you drink your cider and I bet you drive your tractor. And
I bet you've got a bag of cats.
Leave me be.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ricky, you do really enjoy cider. And I bet you've got tractors.
You know what? I will say, never once have I been out with Ricky and him drink a beer. He has always had cider or a fruity drink.
Well, give me an example of a fruity drink I've had. What, you mean like a fruity cocktail?
Yeah, like a nice little cocktail. Admittedly, I don't mind a cocktail, but I remember once we went to TGI Fridays, and quick shout out to them. Hopefully they'll give us a sponsorship and we don't have to pay the ridiculous prices.
I'm game for that.
But I remember we went for some food, me and a couple of people from work, including Ricky and Gary. And we ended up having a drink and what have you. And
thanks for the invite, guys. Yeah, cheers for that.
Yeah, it was before we liked you, Jamie. So back then, you know, I thought, oh yeah, Ricky's a top lad. He's going to be a beer drinker or a cider drinker. No, he ordered a martini like he was James Bond.
Shaken, not stirred.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say, you can't get a decent beer or cider at TGI Fridays.
I don't know.
They do a cracking cocktail.
They serve some alright stuff now. They didn't used to, admittedly, but some of the beers now are quite tasty.
I'll tell you one thing though, we TGIs have started delivering now, aren't they? You can get cocktails delivered. It's fucking brilliant.
Whoa.
Wow, that I feel sorry for that driver who's got to carry that.
You know,
'Cause it's not going to be as glamorous as it would be.
you know, Revolution in is it Revolution in Sheffield?
Yeah, Revs, yeah.
Yeah, they started the whole cocktail delivery service. If you go on Deliveroo while you're in any part of Sheffield or on other, delivery services are available. In fact, I'd rather plug a different delivery service because Deliveroo aren't in my area. But that's beside the point. That's another thing that pisses me off.
That's another thing to moan about.
Yeah, I'll get onto that in a fucking minute. But if you go on to say Deliveroo, Just Eat, whatever, Uber Eats, jump on that in Sheffield. You can order any cocktail from I think it's Vodka Revs in it, all to give it its full name, but Revolution, and you go to any place there, and you will be able to get it delivered, any sort of cocktail. And I think it's a banging idea. Right, Ricky's ringing us for some reason.
What?
Ricky's just rang
Yeah,
me.
Ricky.
So-
Has he dropped out?
Yeah, I think he has.
He needs to press join.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I'm not sure I'll tell him that because he's not on call.
You have to do it telepathically.
It's because he's southern, innit? Half hour tops and he's done. He's spent.
He's probably pressed wrong button or something.
I've sent him a message saying you need to select join on our chat, but whether or not he'll do that is a different matter.
It's probably his missus come to kick his head in. She's from Leeds, isn't she? She'll
She's not.
knock shit out of him.
I'll give it a round.
I think with Ricky as well, he's got two main issues. One, his phone is as much use as a chocolate fire guard, and wherever you want to, if you ever want to go anywhere with him, tell him to turn up an hour early. So give him the appointment time an hour before what you actually meant to go.
Absolutely, because I've been friends with Ricky for a long time. He was the best man at my wedding, and I can guarantee he's never been on time for anything.
Except your wedding, and that was it.
Yeah, that's only because I took it. Only because you were with me.
Yeah.
Although, I'll tell you what, on my stag do, he was one hell of an organised man. He walked around with that little blue folder, like pointing people in the right directions all day, didn't he?
I think we definitely need to cover an episode based on Jamie's stag do. It was a brilliant time. Well done to Ricky. There's a reason I weren't best man, and I think it's because everyone had been
Spends his working days working with spreadsheets and stuff like that. He's not fantastic on computers and stuff, is he?
No.
How's it?
Tried ringing Ricky, and he apparently can't work it. This is gonna have to be cut out. This is like a whole 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I was just going to say it has been going on for about 5 minutes now, so we might have to cut it down for a couple of minutes.
Recording for a moment.
Put a timestamp in.
Go.
Welcome back, Ricky. Finally managed to get back on the.
Hello.
Which is good.
Yeah, apologies. I just lost connection there, but yeah,
Ricky,
sorry guys.
The man that can't use technology, despite being the most technologically employed out of all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are something else.
I'll put that on my gravestone. Thank you ever so much.
Put it on your CV.
Well, you won't let me be your best man, so let me be your funeral planner.
So what did I miss? What was the last thing you guys were talking about?
We to be fair, Rick, because you're gone, we didn't really want to cover anything, but we do just want to say, obviously, that today would have been your wedding day. Which
Don't mention it.
Fucking
If there's any
COVID.
sexy ladies listening, please.
Oh, I
Yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, that's why we're saying should have been. We're not saying it's still going ahead.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, thank you.
We're trying to offer you out, Ricky.
We're a pimping service now.
NRG-J, the pimping service.
I mean, I'm fully satisfied being with Gary's mum, but I am available for the women up there. Sorry, Gary. No,
He's not sorry. He apologises to you all the time, Gary, and he's not sorry at all.
No.
Can we
She's
Can we just
Your-
discuss the
your
time,
mum's
though, that Ricky took my mum off Facebook?
What do you mean he took you off Facebook?
So doing this whole thing, right? And so basically, my mum had done some cooking for us. She brought it to work. We all ate it. It was nice, everything like that. Ricky had my mum on Facebook. So I think my mum, Ricky or someone put something on, or I put something on, or someone put something on Facebook. Ricky commented, and then my mum commented after. They were having quite a joke, and then at one point, Ricky thought he offended my mum, so then he decided not to say anything, but to remove her off Facebook, everything like that, and not say anything going forward. So kind of cacked his son and just removed her off, and my mum thought she'd done something wrong.
Oh, Ricky, you've broken her heart. You
I know. It's it relates the whole you say like people pisses off in groups and things like that. It's the whole social awkwardness of things, especially your mum. Like, all joking aside, Gary, your mum's lovely. She brought sausage rolls into work one time. It was one of the best days of my life. It was lovely.
You know
so
what?
nice.
I'm pretty sure
even
I
work
didn't
there.
get one of them sausage rolls. So
You didn't work there.
Your mum can get stuffed. No, I did work there. I remember her bringing the sausage rolls in, and Gary didn't want us to go. Oh, Niall, do you want a sausage roll? Did you, Gary?
Oh, I'm sure you sat down at table with us at one point when we were sat there in canteen.
Nope.
You were probably there, but you were playing Football Manager on your phone at the
Oh
time.
yeah, I was good at playing Football Manager on breaks.
And at work.
And at
One
work.
of the hardest things about knowing you guys were when I was a manager, and then you guys used to just take the piss constantly, and like I couldn't manage you for it. There was nothing I could do.
My favourite used to be just to shout, Jamie, 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 and he'd come over and go, what? And I'd just go, fuck off.
Yeah, or I'd go over to him and I'd say, "Oh, sorry, Niall, you want to call him?" "Oh, don't worry about it," and just put phone down.
Well,
Niall, you can't do that.
Well, I'm not proud of the stuff I've done, except the parts, where it was really funny.
Oh God!
If it was
Right,
funny
we need to come back on to work stories
regret
because there's been some good ones. Like, do you know my first day as a manager? After my second go around, because I were a manager, then I stopped and I went back to be the manager again. And my first day, this lad come up to me and went, "Can I tell you something?" I'm like, "Yeah, why? What's the matter?" He went, "Oh, I don't know if I can work today." I'm like, "Why? What's the matter?" He went, "Oh, I've been up all night. I spent all my money on MCAT and I'm off my face." I'm like, "Oh,
Well,
what?
I don't
You've come to
understand.
work and you're under the influence of drugs."
What could
Brilliant.
you have possibly been mad at him for? He told you the truth. Most people would kill for someone to go, "Oh, you know what? I can't really work today. I'm off my face on MCAT. Apologies." But no, not Jamie. Jamie complains about that sort of shit. Ridiculous.
He was the first person I sacked that day. There were two. There were another one. I sacked another one that day as well.
What was the other one sacked for?
This old lady, she come up to me and told me that she'd done something on a call which was classed as gross misconduct. I can't say exactly because it'll give away what the role was, but she gave out a piece of information that she wasn't meant to give out, and come up and told me about it. If she'd not told me about it, no one would have ever known, because the chance of me picking that call to listen to it would have been very slim. But she come up to me and told me about it, so I'm sorry, I've got to let you go.
Do you know my favourite?
And my wife was on her team at the time, and she's still angry at me about it. She hates me for it.
You know what? My favourite part about all that is he sacked her for gross misconduct. Yet when I was putting the phone down and he was my manager, what did he do? Let me hear a resounding, "Oh yeah, nothing." absolutely.
I couldn't do it. You looked too good sat there with the headset on. I couldn't do it.
Can't sack me. I sacked myself.
Yes,
I took
you did.
myself into the room, went, right, you're fired, and went and got a new job. That's
right. So back onto stuff that pisses me off. When we was working, okay, same where I work now, is finding somewhere to fucking park. When you're driving into work, you've driven for like half an hour or whatever to get there, and there's absolutely nowhere to park. There's nothing more annoying than that when you've got to then try and rush around and get in before your shift starts. It's ridiculous.
You know what? I used to love it when I had the moped when I first started working at the anonymous call centre we all used to work at, because there was always parking. However, as soon as I passed my car test, fucking hell, the amount of cars that I was like, right, I can get in that spot. No, tiny car in there. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I remember when you used to have the moped, the Nailmobile.
The Nailmobile. Donny.
There was a gate on to exit the car park, and the Nailmobile wasn't heavy enough to trigger the gate to go up. So you had to wait. You had to wait for a car to come past to be able to get out of the car park.
It was either that or I used to jump on the pavement and ride it round. I was very upset by the fact that my moped always let me down.
Me and Ricky still work together.
What was it? What type was it?
It was a Pulse Scout. It was a Chinese little thing, and I loved that moped. If someone said, "Oh, I've got a Pulse Scout moped specifically from 2017 or whatever it weren't 2017." That's
Not like a SsangYong one.
No, SsangYong, the very very strong cars. No,
yeah, I know they do bikes as well. That's what made me.
No, it was.
I've never heard of that one.
Pulse Scout. It was a little thing. It was nice. It was from the local moped shop that went bust very shortly after. So maybe maybe it was my fault that the moped shop went bust. But yeah, I don't necessarily find parking to be an issue. I don't. At my work now, specifically, it's very easy to find a car parking spot, and every company I've worked for after the anonymous call centre that will never be named, I found parking really easy. I've worked at other call centres. I worked for a big German supermarket at one point, and every single place other than the previously mentioned call centre, easy to get parking at.
While we're talking about things that piss us off and parking, when people park over two spaces, and that said call centre, just for a bit of background for everyone, so us four all met originally at that said call centre, and we all became good friends. Despite the ups and downs of the place, we were lucky to all meet each other and have a good friendship, and a lot of and my wife to be soon as well, who I met there. But one of the things, like they say in the parking, what didn't help the parking was when you turn the first shift and someone was parked in between two spaces or in their bay too far to one side that you can't get into the one next to it. Oh, that and you tend to find this happens. You notice it more as it comes up to Christmas when everyone just starts to panic. Because they do, don't they? It's like the end of the world. People panic, all parking at Asda and Tesco's, all over the place, and it's so frustrating.
I agree with that. I think people are more inconsiderate in times of stress than they are as a whole. It's like you could meet the nicest person on this planet, but as soon as they're semi-stressed, in fact, you know what? Count this as something that pisses me off. As soon as people are semi-stressed, they become inconsiderate arseholes.
I'm back, by the way. Sorry, my phone died.
Oh, brilliant! How did your phone so quickly turn back on?
I've stuck it on charge. It's on charge now.
It literally went for a
You've been
second.
eating your kebab, you.
Yeah, you have.
There's no phone issue there. There's kebab eating written all over that. You're just timing in between conversations, don't you? I bet you've got a little bit of kebab meat hanging out your mouth now.
The man's
I
a
can
kebab
smell it.
mouth.
Your mum's kebab meat.
No, don't mention
Oh,
Ricky's mum. She's a lovely lady.
That's really disrespectful.
Yeah, really disrespectful to.
Sorry. I meant Gary's mum.
Yeah, that's better.
That's better.
Oh, here we go.
What I like about Gary is you can tell he's lost all sense of ever wanting to stop these jokes by the fact he often replies with, "Oh, here we go," as though it's inevitable. Gary knows it's coming. Gary, no matter what, Gary knows it's coming. And I won't.
Yeah. He knows when it's coming because he can hear it from his bedroom.
I wasn't going to make the joke. I'm not down for that. I'm not making those sort of jokes about your mum, Gary. I think, despite the fact she never gave me a sausage roll, she's a lovely lady as well.
But Gary, you must think sometimes, if when we're all talking and that, if no one's made a joke about your mum, do you think, hang on, there's something wrong here? What's happened?
Yeah,
there's something serious going on.
Do you ever get to a point where you think, right, no one else has made the joke about my mum, so I'm going to?
I think I'd probably feel a bit sick and stuff if I did it myself. So that's something I kind of avoid.
But, Gary's mum.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's game, come on.
If she's game, so is Ricky.
I should totally have a chat with
How do you think, Gary, on a serious note, how do you think you would have felt if you'd have ended up having Ricky as a stepdad?
Well, I'm not sure because there'd be a communication issue first, wouldn't there?
Oh, he is dirty and southern.
Shut up and go to your room, Gary.
Gary, stop watching the front corner.
You talk back to me.
I think Ricky would be asking for more help off me than I'd be actually asking help for him.
Only help if you need is a translator so I can understand your mum.
See, I've gotten better, but I remember first meeting you lot, especially for anyone who's listening to this, you can probably hear it yourself. But Gary and Jamie do have particular very strong accents, and that's probably why we get on quite well. Because when we first met, I did generally not a clue what they said half of the time, and I've gotten better. I'm starting to understand it a bit better. It's just a lot of some of your words. Hey, here's a little test, Gary.
Yeah.
Repeat after me. Door.
Door.
Doer.
Door. There you go. Trying to think of other words.
Ricky, time there.
What's time there? Wow. Yes. It's like you got a hot chip in your mouth.
Time there. Wow.
But the one thing, so I'm sort of flipping the scale really because we're talking about things what piss us off. The one thing I absolutely love about Yorkshire, I love A-Up. I think the fact that everyone can go, regardless of your age, sex, whatever, you go into a room and you just A-Up, 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 and it's the most happiest, jolliest A-Up, A-Up. Oh, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I love
what do you say instead? Down south, what do they say?
Not just down south, the rest of the world. You say hello or good morning or good afternoon.
It's too formal, that though, isn't it? You go, hey, up. How you going?
Well,
it sounds natural.
Well, people have been using it for hundreds of years, Jamie, and it's never been a problem. But I just the Yorkshire people and A-Up, I just think it's fantastic. I love it. I love A-Up, A-Up. It's great. It's great.
Right, so come on, we need some more stuff that piss you off. Anyone?
Oh, this is Ricky. Does anyone off?
Either of you. Both of you only got one or two in there. Come on.
I think as well, people not paying attention at any point in the general day. That really pisses me off. Like especially, when you're driving down the road and you're coming down.
Oh, sorry, Gary. What are you talking about? I wasn't listening.
He had to do it, didn't he? He had to do it.
That's what you came here for, folks. The shit jokes.
But as I
Sorry,
was
carry on.
saying,
Sorry.
you're going down road. You're coming up to your junction. You're about to turn left. There's a car on
Road.
the other side of the road which is due to turn right. So you flash
You've got
your
your
light.
light flashing up back up at car.
Wop,
Yeah,
wop,
you're
wop.
like, come on, mate.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. I'm really sorry to interrupt. 1 second. Niall, could you just translate for me? Because I know we've just literally seconds spoken about this. As far as I'm aware, Gary has said something about he's driving down the road and there's a cow on the other side of the road and he has to flash his lights at it or something like that.
He said he's flashing his tits at the cow, and it's not his mum, but he's flashing his tits at her.
No, what?
Gary,
I'm sorry, Gary. What did you say? I'm sorry, Gary.
He's not sorry at all, Gary.
You're going down road. You're due to turn left into your another road or something like that.
Okay, so let me just quickly translate for you, Gary.
You're
due to turn left into another road.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Gary.
And on the other side of the road, there's
there's a car.
Which is due to turn
This better
right.
be good, this build-up.
What sort of fucking riddle is this, Gary?
No, because I'm on about you going down road. And then
I feel like fucking Bilbo Baggins.
It's like the Yorkshire. It's like the Yorkshire version of the Da Vinci Code or something like that.
I'm off to throw my Yorkshire pudding in Mount Doom. By heck.
But it's just not.
Who let Gary get involved in this podcast?
So you're turning left. There's another car.
But the whole point is you're letting someone pull in before you. You're letting them go, and they're just not paying attention. You sat there flashing your lights, and you're slowing down, and then you're like, "Hang on, have they noticed me? Have they not?" And they're just fucking still sat there, and you're like, "Move your fucking car!"
And then at the end of it, they all kiss.
Well, I was trying to sound quite annoyed, so I didn't want to add that bit in. But yeah.
The only part they wasn't annoyed by was the kiss.
No, that were actually quite enjoyable.
All right.
Gary, do you mean like if you let someone through? Because this, it seems to be a pattern. A lot of our things will piss us off are car related, aren't they? But I hate when you let someone through and they don't fucking. I hate when you let people through and they don't say thank you. That winds me up more than anything. Just that little nudge of the hand, and they don't do it.
You know,
for Ricky though, Ricky doesn't say thank you. He says sorry when people come past him.
Sorry, I'm in the way. Please don't hit me.
I think
manners don't cost anything, my friend.
Well,
that's true. Sorry.
I think that's one. That's
You're
one
welcome.
point as well. What Ricky made. Me and him was in the car going somewhere, and he just said, "If you went, it's really surprising how many people say thank you up here." I says, "What do you mean?" He went, "Well, down south, no one says thank you to each other when you let someone in, but up here, everyone's just like cheers." Like,
no, I didn't say no one, just in case, because I've still got to go back down south to visit friends and family. I don't want to be, thrown out and like pitchforks and that, and they chase me out of the place. I said not that many people.
By the next time you have to go down south, Rick, you'll be that famous from this Not Another Northern podcast that you'll be able to hire an entourage of security.
Yeah.
So, all from Yorkshire.
All from Yorkshire.
And I'll pay them with Yorkshire pudding and gravy.
Hey,
and live like kings.
Worth its weight in gold.
A wage, yeah. You know what? In fact, that's something that does piss me off. It's people that used to work down pit that no matter what, you might say, "Oh yeah, we're in our drive to work today." Ah, you think that we're in our drive? Well, let me tell you about when I used to have to walk to pit that were down road. I had to fight 7 bears and eat 7 octopuses. And to be honest, I ate more coal than I did jam sandwiches. Right, no one asked for your fucking life story, lad.
I had that with me.
Is that
my
sort of
granddad used to work in pit.
And I used to go to his house, like, oh, you don't know you're born. I didn't see daylight for 7 years when I was working in pit.
Yeah, well, you did, didn't you? When you finished your shift at pit, which, by all means, yeah, I understand that they were hard worked and underpaid and all that bollocks, but
Thatcher's Britain.
They go on like they had to fight 6 world wars while they were down pit. I've got a lot of respect for the people that actually did fight in a war, but it's when these miners go, oh yeah, I had to climb Mount Everest 4 times before I were even allowed to pick at any sort of stone. Well, you weren't, were you? Bollocks. Laura, it's bollocks. It pisses me off no end.
You've just reminded me of
me
another
off. Right, so on my way back from shop earlier, right, so we're currently in lockdown, yeah? So you're meant to be going out just for like essentials and stuff. And I was driving through Swinton on my way back to lovely Donny, and there was a group of about 15 lads, about my age, hanging outside a shop. I'm like, what? When's that been acceptable, especially in the lockdown? I mean, just in general, like, what's wrong with like people in late 20s hanging outside a shop drinking like cider?
If I know anything about Swinton, they were trying to wait for the 13-year-old girls to come in and try and buy something so they could hit on them. And before anyone from Swinton comes and starts on me, I ain't got time for it. Fight Jamie instead. He probably fights better. And he's from your ends. Look.
No, I know what you mean, Jamie. I think with recent things at the moment, it's been a very test of character on some people. Like, they mention about previous epidemics. You know, you mentioned like the war, for instance. You know, people had to band together, respect one another, and just do the little things to just try and help tie things over. And when you get people like that who just can't even be asked to that, you know,
when they all go on about, oh yeah, we had to band together during war and stuff like that. That's another thing. Do you know how many affairs were had during the war?
Yeah.
Innumerous.
I've been in France for 4 years. Come back, you go like a 1-year-old son. You're like, hold on a sec, wait a sec. Let me do the math.
This makes no sense.
I'll tell you what though. Do you know when the first lockdown finished? I went back to work as a magician. I was performing for people, and I go up to them like, "Oh, I've got some sanitizer here. Could you please use it before we handle cards?" And they're like, "Oh, it don't matter. I don't believe in it anyway." I'm like, "No, what? Just fucking Nora."
Yeah, but that's because so many people are warped by what they read on social media. It's easy for them to go, "Oh no, I don't believe in COVID." Well, I do, so fucking clean your hands, you scruffy bastards.
Yeah, believe me, I had it recently, and it exists, and it's a bit of a bastard. It affects everyone very differently, but it was horrible. I really wish I did.
That were a good bastard, that, Ricky. You sounded a bit like Sean Bean.
Bastard. You bastard.
Yeah, bastard.
Oh, you bastard. It's rubbing off. Metaphorically.
Well, you don't need to rub off while we're all talking to you, Ricky. Like, keep it in your pants.
I know we haven't spoken in a while, Ricky, and I understand you miss me, but it must just be a southern thing to rub off once you see someone or talk.
With lockdown, I miss any human contact. Especially tonight would have been my wedding night.
Oh no!
And that would have been the first time.
Instead, I'm here talking to you lot
since they first got together.
Although on the plus side, it does mean we can have a good stag at the beginning of next year.
Or it means that we can have a lot of drinks tonight and you know, chat a lot of shit. Did you and Vicky plan anything on the basis it was tonight was going to be the night, Rick, or were you just sort of trying to forget that it was going to be your wedding?
So when we knew we had to rearrange the wedding, we then had plans to have a weekend away, but then lockdown happened. So
lockdown 2.0.
Whatever. Yeah. So fate is determined that we are not meant to be doing anything this weekend. But the plus side, the weather's been absolutely shit today, so that's a bit of a blessing in disguise for us, you know, because we would have had to had this today. So next year, rearrange, nice summer wedding.
If you'd have got married today, skies would have been glorious.
I doubt it. It fucking rained on my wedding day, and it'd been red hot for 8 weeks before.
Yeah, there were a reason behind that, Ricky. Jamie, and that's God don't like you.
Well, there is that. Is it because I'm from Swinton? Again, I'm going back there.
And a paedophile.
Wow.
Apologies, viewers. He's not really a paedophile. Don't come for him.
Don't come for him.
I don't know if you insulted Jamie by calling him a paedophile or insulted paedophiles by associating them with Jamie.
I'd like to imagine, Ricky, a little bit of both.
The whole Jimmy Savile gang now go, hey, he ain't fucking one of us. Whoa, fucking hell.
He's never been round to one of our parties on Epstein's Island.
Yeah, I mean, children under the age of 12, no problem, but anyone with their own cousin, no way.
Fucking Nora. Oh, God.
And a quick one for you, Jamie. At what point did you realise you and Cheryl were related?
I'm still trying to get family tree lined up to see if we are or not.
Probably.
Family bush.
On that note, then, regarding Mrs., what are you getting yours for Christmas? Because I ain't got a fucking clue.
I
first of all,
ordered ours today because we've decided we're going to get a joint present to each other, and it's a coffee machine because that's adult life now.
That sounds awful.
Hey, I like a coffee.
Oh, I like that.
What coffee machine you gone for though?
Dolce Gusto, one of them poddy ones.
Yes.
You know
Yeah, I've got one of them. It's beaut.
The posh bastard ones. Like, I happily sit and drink some Kenko cheap shit, me, but.
I got some new coffees today for my Dolce Gusto. It's got the toffee nut lattes from Starbucks.
Is it the ones where you have to put little capsules in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The capsules are expensive, though. I find. I think that's
it's
I see the
£3.50 for 8.
That's expensive.
You know what? I find the cheapest place to get them is Asda.
Yeah, Asda's pretty good.
They do three for.
I'll tell you what. The amount of times we mentioned Asda tonight, we should get a sponsorship from them.
Well, I want.
Oh yeah,
tonight, if we don't come away from this with a TGI sponsorship and an Asda sponsorship, I'm not playing game anymore, and we're done with this podcast.
Oh, let me just clarify, Swinton. We do not want a sponsorship from you.
While we're on about things what pisses off.
Sorry, apologies. We do want a sponsorship from Swinton if they can reunite Jamie with his cousin and girlfriend.
And sister.
Probably mum as well. Oh, no, you never know.
Your mum. She's definitely
family.
In fact, no, there were some of my pals out then.
And then we went after Spoon's show. We went to Mont next door, and Ricky went into the toilet and come back out, and his friend who we were with, we're being chatted up by another woman, and she looked scared to death.
Oh yeah,
we had to rescue her. Yeah. And then we couldn't get a taxi home. We were stuck in Mexborough for hours.
You weren't out that night, Jamie, but I remember one night with Niall where
this is a good one. I know where he's going. You and Steve.
You know what I'm gonna say. What's the pub next door to?
Yeah, with the Mont.
And I bought a round of Jaeger bombs, and I said, "Oh, you're alright drinking these now?" He went, "Yeah, no problem." Piece of piss, Eddie. And as soon as he had one, he just threw it up all over the bar, over the floor.
What a good night.
It was.
You know what,
most of the time, I wouldn't have took any notice, but literally the words you said beforehand was, "Yeah, I could drink you all under the table."
You know what?
Oh.
Can we just put a bit of context on what the Mont's like? You need to imagine, like the dingiest pub you've ever seen. Do you know, like Nag's Head on Only Fools and Horses, like that, but with some music, and then we a stickier floor.
That's right.
Yeah, no, Nag's Head were all right. It's all right then, but the Mont still looks like that now.
Yeah, but I like it. I think it's alright. It's called character.
You know what, though, Ricky? No matter what, you can't say that night were that bad, because even after I was sick all over the floor after one terrible Jaeger bomb, We went straight back to mine. I went and stuck another shirt on. You and Steve went and had a pint in one of the worst pubs in all of Mexborough, and we went out in Doncaster.
Which pub was it?
Georgia Dragon.
Oh yeah,
Another good pub. I must have different taste to you, like that's a good pub.
Ricky,
it's all right.
Ricky's definition of a good pub is anywhere that serves beer.
you need to take him to like Boy and Barrel or something. That'll open his eyes.
It's shut, isn't it? I believe.
Is it shut now?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm amazed.
Sad, isn't it? That time of the moment for pubs.
We've proper gone from having an entire chat about things that annoy us to nights out. So, what I will guarantee you, viewers,
Niall throwing up on bars and stuff.
shoes. I think at some point. But yeah,
Nice.
what I will guarantee you all is we will do an episode where we're either slightly drunk, all of us, or we will talk about all of our drunk stories, because I think that will make a fantastic episode.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah, like that.
I've
Definitely.
got an incredible story to tell you all about a certain Mr. Ricky Hart that I will save for that exact episode.
I've got a few as well, and I need to tell the story about the 80s bar from my stag do.
Oh yeah,
It's
fantastic.
All I'm going to say is a quick teaser for you all is it's a good job I realised.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all I will say. And once we get onto that episode, you will all understand that.
Do you know what? For that episode, I might try and get a certain somebody from the stag do to give us his opinions and get him on the call.
Anyone who's listening, there was a particular character. I think we all, especially with stags, because you all get together. Sometimes you don't know the other lads, and this one particular guy who came, he's definitely on day release. There was something about him, but we explain a little bit more in another episode. But yeah, definitely a strange one, very strange one.
I think everything we've described about Swinton in a bloke.
Yeah,
That's
he's
how
from Bradford originally, though.
He's from where?
Bradford.
Bayek. Right, let's have another something that pisses you off. Gary or Ricky, which one of you wants it?
What about you, Gary? Can you be quiet, mate?
I think
It's probably shitting.
Yeah, but well, no, I did that 2 minutes ago. I'm all right now. I've had a full clear out. I'm all right now.
You not nipped it off this week?
No, all the way through it. You guys were chatting, so I thought, I've got spare 5-10 minutes here, so I can while you're at it. So I did. But
Go on, Gary. Give a thing. What pisses you off?
a lot of things. See, I'm quite a calm person at times. I'm quite chilled out, and it takes a lot to piss me off. But I've been out in the car today, just travelling about, getting some stuff done and everything. The main thing that's pissed me off today is the queues at McDonald's. Right? The amount of people queuing up in McDonald's drive-through to get a McDonald's.
I agree with that. Like I mentioned earlier, I went to Asda. There's a McDonald's next to the Asda I went to, and there was queuing through Asda car park. It was that bad.
Yeah. It is just like the queuing for 15-20 minutes for a Big Mac. Like, are you that desperate for a McDonald's you have to queue for that long to get it? Like, why? Just why? Like, I don't see the point. Like, just go home and order a takeaway or, just
go home and get a kebab.
Just do something else. Don't sit there, because then you just look like an idiot.
Did you add to the queue though, Gary? Did you get in there as well?
Yeah, he definitely did.
He
was the causer of the queue. His order.
My Big Mac.
The original intention was actually to go because I had my son in the car, and I thought, you know what, I'll just go and get him an Happy Meal, because he likes them and stuff like that. So I thought I'll go. Went to the one near my mum's house. jam-packed, queuing everywhere. So then I went to a different one, which is about five minutes away. Queuing, well, they were queuing all the way out nearly onto the dual carriageway, just to get into McDonald's.
Speaking of that, I've been booked to. Speaking about like around where your mum lives. Your mum live in near Wickersley?
No, my mum lives East Dean area.
East Dean, lovely area.
Yeah.
The well-known stabbing locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only place where you get a stab vest on your first day at school. It's horrendous.
It comes as standard that.
Well, I like the way this is. Well, I like the way this is the first episode tonight, and so far we've managed to offend Swinton people, Mexborough people, East Dean now, Southern people. That's quite a large area, large scoop there.
Yeah, we've gone for the biggest scope we could. We thought, you know what, wind up.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, wind up the Southerners. There's what they're gonna do? Drive the tractor at me?
So
what we're actually going to say?
We talk about McDonald's.
Open back there. Okay, fine.
We're going
Sorry.
back there. That's where we're off.
Oh,
What?
I was just going to mention about McDonald's, if that's okay.
Yeah, go.
So, what's
Anyway,
the similarity between? What's the similarity? What's the similarity between a dick and a McDonald's burger? They're both smaller and less filling than advertised.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say one's meant to come with cheese.
Oh, Gary.
Oh god, that made that joke. That was fantastic.
Yeah, no. Oh,
I couldn't resist. I just couldn't resist.
What, the cock or the joke?
Depends
Bit
on
of both.
Of course, it's a bit of both. For anyone curious, Gary's into both.
What, burgers and cheese or burgers and cock?
Burgers and man cheese, yeah.
Well, that's what I heard.
I got told Gary's.
I'll tell you something else that's frustrating. Right, so as someone who's grown up playing video games, I've played a lot of PlayStation, Xbox, PC games. I've always been into it, and then recently, our youngest daughter started playing games.
Every single one of them was stolen, being the fact he's from Swinton.
Absolutely. Most likely from you, I think.
Yeah.
But my youngest has started playing on PlayStation, and it's so frustrating watching her play. Just because, like, you know how it's meant to be done, you know what they're meant to be doing, but they haven't got a clue. And you want them to improve, you want them to get better, but it's so hard not to just snatch the controller off her and do it yourself because it's just so hard to fucking watch.
Yes, but why would you not just teach her? Why would you think, oh, you know what, I'll just nick it off her and play a game anyway? Teach her how to play, Jamie.
She were on Call of Duty the other day, and she was like, "Oh, can you have a game with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'll have a game with you." So we put on just a multiplayer game, like me and her versing a load of bots. So I won't take her online. I don't think she's ready for online yet. It'll make her cry.
No one's ready
but
for
we just put us against a load of bots. So I think we played 250, and I got something like 125 of the kills. And then she was like, "Oh, can I take you on?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I usually people go easy on the kids, but you can't do it, can you? You need to teach them what life really like.
I've said this several times to Millie. As soon as Freddie is old enough to play games, and we're playing games and what have you, I'm not gonna ever go easy on him. If at some point he eventually starts beating me legitimately, I'll think, you know what, well done, kid. You've improved, but I've still shagged your mum. But yeah, you've done well.
You can actually throw that out there, can't you? It's no longer like an Xbox Live chat on 360. You can actually genuinely say, "I've shagged your mum."
That's the perfect thing about having a child. Not just the fact that they're lovely and amazing, and having a kid is the most rewarding experience I've ever been through, but the fact that in the future, when I'm playing video games against him, I can make jokes like that and he can't say anything about it. What are you going to do? Tell your dad? Ha! I am him.
Fair point. 1v1 me, bro.
1v1 me on Rust. By heck.
That's the way forward. So that's one thing that's frustrating.
I'm really sorry, lads. I'm going to call it a night in a bit.
Not a
Okay.
problem. We are getting on a bit, to be fair, time-wise, so I think we might be best off calling it anyway. Blame Ricky if you've not enjoyed the full scope of this content. If you have enjoyed, though, do subscribe, give us a like, and we'll see you all next time.
So just so people know, we are planning on uploading once per week. So it's going to be either on a Saturday or Sunday we'll be uploading. So keep an eye out for it in the future. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be first to watch our new videos. And subscribe and leave us a comment below about what episodes you guys would like to hear from us.
Oh, and what pisses you off.
That's a really good idea.
Excellent.
Yeah,
all
hopefully
right,
people have enjoyed it and no one's been too offended. It's just a bit of banter, isn't it, really? So
if you have been offended, just let us know by writing Ricky in the chat, and then we know that the offence has come from him. That's fine.
Yeah, don't mention anyone else's name as to who offended you, because it probably weren't us. And as we're a northern podcast, we know it's probably the southerner that has done it.
Absolutely. Right, well, that's it from me. So thanks, guys. See you later.
Brilliant. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye, all.
Peace.